Picture this for a second. Prince Harry walks into another major British legal battle, convinced his case deserves to be heard, and suddenly the conversation shifts from courtroom arguments to reports of a potentially massive financial hit. Some coverage has thrown around figures as high as $18.7 million, creating a fresh wave of headlines around Harry and Meghan.
A bill of tens of millions of pounds from associated newspapers are going after him hell for leather. Quite rightly so, too.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's financial collapse is getting so bad. Indeed, Paula Frolic Uncensored reporting they're kind of running out of money.
There is money problems. That leads me to Meghan Markle because she genuinely did get duped in some sort of way. She thought that she was marrying a multi-billionaire. That's how she saw Harry.
Harry has no idea. But of course, she's married to Harry and she believes that this would change everything.
Meghan and Harry are very adept at playing politics and the race card.
But the courtroom drama is only half the story. Reports claim Meghan is deeply frustrated by how far Harry's legal battles have gone, with some sources alleging she warned him about the financial and reputational risks long before things reached this point. Harry reportedly pushed ahead anyway, and now critics are asking whether that choice could put pressure on both their finances and their relationship. It's a situation people understand immediately. Someone believes they've got the winning hand, keeps pushing, and then the legal process doesn't unfold the way they expected. Suddenly, all those warnings that seemed easy to brush aside start looking a lot more serious. Harry has spent years pursuing legal action involving Associated Newspapers, publisher of the Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday. His wider battles with Britain's tabloid press have become a huge part of his public life, with Harry repeatedly arguing that certain media practices crossed serious lines. But these cases can also carry enormous financial risks. Reports surrounding the litigation have discussed potential legal exposure running into millions of dollars. Figures around $18.7 million have circulated, although that number should not automatically be treated as Harry's confirmed personal bill unless it is supported by the relevant final court orders. That's an important difference. In British litigation, legal costs can be assessed, challenged, reduced, divided between parties, or decided through additional proceedings. So saying Harry simply owes every penny another party spent would go further than the confirmed facts unless a court specifically orders it.
They've been having. So again, Meghan was not 100% on board and not happy for Harry to go ahead with this massive lawsuit against the Daily Mail, specifically because if they lost, which they did, they'd be on the hook for millions.
Associated Newspapers is going to be giving Harry any breaks. You can think again. They are extremely bitter about the way things have gone. They are particularly bitter about the fact that Harry used his royal status. Rapprochement, and Harry's now all of a sudden going to be ending up back in the fold. It's absolutely not going to happen. The King doesn't want Harry back. The Queen doesn't want Harry back. William and Catherine don't want Harry back. Everybody knows that Harry's treacherous. He's unpredictable. He is under the influence of various substances.
Even so, potentially facing millions in costs is no small problem. Court battles at this level involve expensive lawyers, years of preparation, and complicated proceedings. And unlike random gossip online, formal judicial findings remain part of the legal record. That's also why claims about Harry's testimony need to be handled carefully. If a judge formally criticizes evidence or testimony, the exact wording matters. A newspaper headline saying testimony was unreliable isn't automatically the same as a judge making that precise finding. Then comes Meghan's reported reaction, and this is where things get spicy. Sources and commentators have claimed she had serious reservations about Harry continuing expensive legal battles because she understood how damaging a major loss could potentially become. According to those reports, Meghan wasn't only worried about money. She allegedly saw a bigger problem involving their reputation, future business opportunities, and the carefully managed image they had been building in America after stepping away from royal duties. Harry reportedly remained determined to continue. If those reports are accurate, you can understand why tension might follow. When one partner warns that something could go sideways and the other keeps pushing anyway, there's no need for some giant screaming match afterward. Sometimes the simple thought of, "I told you so," says enough. but nobody outside their home actually knows what their private conversations look like. Reports describing Meghan as furious or blaming Harry remain reports unless either of them confirms those details.
Harry doesn't give a damn. I've got news for you. My information is that Harry and Meghan are tearing their hair out. Well, he's tearing the little bits of hair he has left. And she's torn out all the hair of the Turkish virgins. And she's now down onto the knots. Oh dear. Oh dear. How's that one going to work out? Oh, I suppose they'll simply have to send to Istanbul for more hair from Turkish virgins. Oh, Harry is facing a bill of tens of millions of pounds from associated newspapers are going after him hell for leather. Quite rightly so too. And the king is not going to be rescuing him, nor is William. So where's he going to get the money from? He and Meghan have been on diminishing returns.
Not happy for Harry to go ahead with this massive lawsuit against the Daily Mail, specifically because if they lost, which they did, they'd be on the hook for millions. Now, again, tomorrow, Wednesday, is a big old deal.
Still, commentators have focused heavily on the possibility of tension in Montecito. Some sources describe Meghan as extremely frustrated, claiming part of that frustration is directed at Harry because she questioned the risks before the legal situation became such a massive talking point. And there's another reason critics believe this could sting. Meghan's post-royal image has increasingly centered on business, lifestyle branding, media projects, and carefully planned public appearances. She has presented new ventures with the image of someone building a long-term strategy outside royal life. Now critics are looking at Harry's legal battles alongside Meghan's business ventures and asking whether that bigger strategy is delivering what was promised. That's where things get complicated. Anonymous claims about their marriage, online criticism of Meghan's brands, and actual court findings are three completely different things. They shouldn't be mixed together and presented as if they all carry the same weight. Harry and Meghan's critics argue that legal setbacks could damage their wider credibility. Their supporters, meanwhile, can reasonably argue that challenging powerful newspapers is always risky and that losing part of a legal fight doesn't automatically erase every concern Harry has raised about tabloid practices.
Know that Harry has used his rank and position to abuse them, to abuse the whole legal process, and they're not willing, my understanding is, to let him get away with it.
I never really felt that Harry truly believed that, right? I think his head was turned by lots of different things, including, as the late monarch personally said, I think Harry's a little too much in love. That was the feeling I got. Remember, he was giving Markle the spotlight from the moment he met because he didn't really need it. People liked him at that time. And when he was whirling around the tour of the United Kingdom, she liked the meeting and greeting bit, but only for a while because she could see the bigger picture.
No, and by the way, I'm not in the imminent divorce camp either. My view, though, is that financials make up a huge part of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's future considerations, you see.
Well, it also makes up a huge part of their fights and the unhappiness they've been having.
Meanwhile, Meghan's projects have been getting plenty of scrutiny of their own. Her television appearances, lifestyle ventures, podcast projects, social media numbers, and possible future products have all become targets for people trying to judge whether her latest business chapter is gaining momentum. Her appearance on MasterChef Australia, for example, sparked plenty of discussion. Some saw it as another chance to strengthen her food and lifestyle image, while critics questioned whether the appearance gave her the credibility boost they expected. But online reaction isn't the same thing as financial data. A few harsh comments don't prove a project failed, just as a burst of positive comments doesn't prove it's making serious money. Then you have, as ever, Meghan's lifestyle brand. Critics have picked apart product launches, availability, marketing choices, and follower numbers. Supporters would point out that newer consumer brands often need time to establish themselves, and that social media numbers alone don't tell you whether a company is profitable. That hasn't stopped the questions, though, and those questions become louder when they're placed beside Harry's expensive legal fights. Harry's separate battle over his UK security arrangements has also involved substantial legal costs, with reports discussing hundreds of thousands of pounds connected to those proceedings. Again, the exact amount he personally owes depends on the relevant court orders, rather than estimates flying around social media. Other high-profile figures, including Elton John, have also been involved in litigation against associated newspapers. That shows how large and complicated these legal fights have become. But one claimant's financial exposure doesn't automatically tell us what another claimant owes. Still, stack all these headlines together, and you can see why people are talking about money. Litigation can burn through cash fast, particularly when elite legal teams spend years fighting complicated cases.
Markle and Harry, it's a little bit difficult because he has no concept of a life without cash. Cash has just never really been an issue for anybody in the royal family,
I mean, we know that what he does do is sit at home all day, wallowing, and what I can last remember him doing is going and talking at a property conference for £50,000. So he is aimless. He doesn't know what he's going to do. I always see him like a kind of well-trained racehorse in the way that he doesn't know what to do outside the tracks, and Montecito is very much outside the track.
And that puts Harry and Meghan's post-royal income under a microscope. They left royal duties with some enormous commercial deals attached to their names. Netflix, Spotify, Harry's memoir Spare, speaking engagements, podcasts, and Meghan's lifestyle projects all created headlines about their earning power. But several of those arrangements have changed or ended. Spotify and Archewell Audio parted ways. Their Netflix relationship has evolved. Spare was a major commercial success, but even a best-selling memoir isn't an unlimited stream of fresh advance money forever. Speaking fees are another area where reports vary dramatically. Some outlets once suggested Harry and Meghan could command enormous sums for appearances, while newer reports have floated much lower numbers. Without contracts or confirmed payments, those figures remain estimates. That's why a potential multi-million-dollar legal obligation would attract so much attention. It isn't simply about whether Harry and Meghan have money, it's about how much reliable income is coming in compared with what could potentially be going out. Meghan's newer projects are supposed to help build the next chapter. But as ever, podcast ventures, media appearances, and other business efforts are still being watched closely to see whether they can become durable sources of revenue. Critics have already jumped on moments they believe show problems, including questions about product availability and marketing decisions. But unless financial statements become public, nobody outside the business can confidently declare exactly how profitable or unprofitable it is. And that's the real pressure point here. Harry and Meghan aren't dealing with one isolated headline. Their legal strategy, business ventures, entertainment partnerships, branding decisions, and public reputation are all being examined at the same time. There has even been speculation around technology and fashion ventures connected to their wider business world, with some commentators suggesting certain projects could eventually attract buyers or investors. But a possible future acquisition isn't money sitting in the bank today. So when people hear numbers like $18.7 million, it's easy to imagine one giant bill landing on Harry's desk overnight. The reality is more complicated, and the confirmed court documents matter far more than sensational estimates. But if substantial legal costs ultimately do land at the same time older media deals are changing and newer businesses are still proving themselves, then the financial pressure could become very real. And according to the reports surrounding Meghan's reaction, that's exactly the kind of risk she allegedly wanted Harry to think about before pushing these battles so far. But here's the problem. Future potential isn't the same as cash available today. A business might become valuable years from now, but that doesn't automatically solve legal costs or other financial obligations that may need attention much sooner. Ask couples who've been married for decades what puts the most pressure on a relationship, and many won't point to one giant argument. They'll talk about the smaller problems that stack up over time. Financial stress can be especially rough because it isn't only about money. It can change how two people communicate, make decisions, and eventually see each other. One person may feel responsible for keeping everything financially stable, while the other feels pressure to keep pushing forward. Slowly, frustration can creep in. The relationship doesn't necessarily collapse during some movie-style showdown. Sometimes the distance simply grows through dozens of smaller moments. And that's why commentators keep watching Harry and Meghan so closely. Some believe the pressures surrounding their legal battles, businesses, and public lives could create exactly that kind of strain. But what happens privately inside their marriage remains known only to them, and public speculation shouldn't be confused with confirmed trouble. Look at Harry's situation. For most of his life, his identity was deeply connected to the royal institution he was born into. That brought worldwide recognition, security arrangements, a defined public role, and an established platform. After stepping away from royal duties, everything changed. Harry and Meghan placed enormous focus on creating an independent life through media deals, books, charitable work, speaking opportunities, and business ventures. Critics argue the results have been mixed, while supporters would say leaving royal life was never simply a financial decision. Either way, Harry has experienced an enormous change in identity. Add years of lawsuits, constant headlines, security disputes, and intense public scrutiny, and that's serious pressure for anybody. Then there's Meghan's approach. Commentators frequently portray Harry as more likely to withdraw under pressure, while Meghan is portrayed as somebody who keeps pushing toward the next opportunity. When one project ends, she's often quickly associated with another brand, appearance, interview, product, or business idea. Those descriptions are outsiders' interpretations, not psychological diagnoses. Still, if two partners genuinely respond to stress in opposite ways, that can create friction over time, and people have been studying their public appearances for clues. Some commentators claim Harry and Meghan are appearing together less frequently and pursuing more individual projects. Others read into their body language, physical distance, or how often they mention one another. But body language guesses aren't proof of marriage problems. Separate professional projects aren't proof either. Plenty of married couples have independent careers, so those details should stay exactly where they belong, in the speculation column. The bigger question is whether their interests still line up financially and professionally. Some commentators have suggested that simply separating wouldn't necessarily make financial pressure disappear. In California, property division can become complicated, and community property rules may apply to certain assets acquired during a marriage. But exactly what would happen to Harry and Meghan would depend on their agreements, ownership structures, individual assets, business arrangements, and other legal details that aren't fully public. And there's been no publicly confirmed divorce announcement anyway. So claims about exactly who would receive what are getting way ahead of the facts. Still, the hypothetical explains why commentators see their situation as complicated. A separation involving internationally famous people could create another expensive legal process, while businesses, investments, property, and branding interests were being examined. For Harry, critics argue it could also mean another major change to an identity that has already transformed dramatically since leaving Britain. His royal connections haven't disappeared, obviously, but his relationship with Meghan and their Sussex identity have become central to the public chapter he's built in America. Meghan faces her own version of that equation. Whatever people think about her businesses, there's no denying that her connection to Harry and the royal family generates huge international attention. Every product launch, interview, television appearance, and public announcement can become global news, partly because Meghan isn't viewed as an ordinary lifestyle entrepreneur. She's the Duchess of Sussex, married to King Charles III's younger son. That royal connection is valuable attention. Critics argue brands associated with Meghan benefit heavily from that worldwide curiosity. Supporters would counter that attention alone doesn't sell products or build sustainable companies. Both points can be true. The Sussex connection can open the door, while the business itself still has to convince customers to stick around. The same applies to any technology or fashion venture linked to their wider network. Celebrity backing can create buzz, but buzz isn't guaranteed profit. Until there's a confirmed acquisition, investment return, or financial disclosure, claims about huge future payouts remain speculation. There's also the bigger story Meghan has publicly told for years, stepping away from royal duties and building a different life on her own terms. Harry is obviously central to that story. Without him, the entire public narrative would change dramatically, and that's what makes this situation such a tricky one. If reports of tension are accurate, both could be dealing with frustration while simultaneously having strong personal, financial, and professional reasons to maintain stability. Now pile everything else on top: legal battles, business pressure, security disputes, media criticism, constant online commentary. Every setback becomes a worldwide headline, and every ordinary public appearance gets analyzed like it's evidence in some giant mystery. That's an environment where even normal disagreements could feel 10 times heavier. But another developing story could bring even more scrutiny. Sentabale, the charity Harry co-founded to support children and young people affected by HIV and AIDS in southern Africa. A leadership dispute involving Sentabale became highly public and included serious disagreements between Harry, other trustees, and Sophie Chandal, who served as chair. Because this involves people who work directly inside the organization, the controversy has attracted attention far beyond ordinary celebrity gossip. Any legal or regulatory claims connected with that dispute need to be described carefully, however. Allegations are not findings, and a dispute involving an organization doesn't automatically prove wrongdoing by Harry or anybody else. Still, Centibal matters enormously to Harry's public image. His charitable work, support for veterans, the Invictus Games, and Centibal have historically been among the areas where Harry received significant praise, even from people who criticize other parts of his post-royal life. That's why developments involving a charity carrying his name can hit differently. If future investigations, legal proceedings, or regulatory findings produce significant conclusions, those actual findings could matter far more than anonymous gossip ever could. And that's the pattern worth watching. Harry and Meghan can respond to criticism with interviews, statements, new projects, or different public strategies. But court orders and official findings aren't controlled by a PR campaign. They exist in black and white. Then comes the money question again. If substantial legal obligations eventually become payable, while other expensive disputes continue, attention will naturally turn toward income, investments, businesses, and property. That doesn't mean Harry and Meghan are about to start selling everything they own. It simply means major financial obligations tend to make people curious about where the money will come from. And naturally, their Montecito home gets dragged into that conversation. That property represents much more than a house in the public imagination. It became the symbol of the new life Harry and Meghan created after leaving royal duties. A California mansion, independent careers, major entertainment deals, and distance from palace life. So if serious financial pressure ever did force major changes, the symbolism would be impossible to ignore. But here's where people need to stay sharp. Fewer joint appearances don't prove a separation. Separate businesses don't prove a separation. A tense-looking photograph definitely doesn't prove a separation. Those are clues commentators may discuss, but they're not evidence of what's happening inside a marriage. What actually matters next will be much easier to verify. Watch the court filings. Watch official judgments. Watch regulatory developments surrounding Centibal. Watch what happens with Harry and Meghan's businesses, media partnerships, and public appearances. Those concrete developments will tell us far more than somebody trying to decode a 5-second clip of Harry's facial expression. Because after years of interviews, documentaries, lawsuits, business launches, royal drama, and non-stop headlines, Harry and Meghan are entering a period where hard results may matter more than carefully crafted narratives. Will their newer ventures build serious momentum? Will Harry's legal battles ultimately justify the enormous risks involved? Will the Centibal dispute produce further significant developments? And will Harry and Meghan continue building their public future together, or increasingly follow separate professional paths? That's where this story gets interesting. So what do you think? Are Harry and Meghan simply going through another difficult chapter under extreme public pressure? Or are these legal and financial battles pointing toward a much bigger change? Drop your comments down below and tell us what you think. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and share the video with someone who follows the royal drama. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.